Hello everyone, welcome back to Assassin's Creed Valhalla with me, Longclaw Valerian Steel. So, we are progressing with these brand new missions in the game in the Wrath of the Druids DLC, and I've been asked by my cousin in Ireland, who's ruling in Dublin as the King of Dublin, to help him overthrow some of his allies and gain favour with the High King Flann. And he's asked me to meet his son Sigfrid in the marketplace this morning to give me some information on King Flann and the nearby king Thorstein, who's trying to gain favour and push his way into Dublin. You see, Dublin is a very bustling trade centre and it's really in its infancy, and it's down to me to help bring this forward and increase Dublin's renown. So let's see how we get on. I'll take you with me every step of the way.
A step back to see the truth around you. From a distance you can tell. You and me were meant to be outdoors, forever free, you and me.
So Sigfrid has told me that one of Thorstein's commanders, one of his gang members, is drinking down by the docks, a fearsome Viking Drenga, and I'm going to go down there and see if I can find her. Her name is Amma, and when I get to the docks I'm going to try and talk her into giving me some information on perhaps where I can find this Thorstein. You know how this works. I'm literally trying to take this guy down and give him a taste of his medicine and let him know that King Barid is not to be messed with. Having a brief conversation with her and a little bit of flirting, you can have a drinking competition. I'm not very good at these, but the whole point of this is just you're loosening her up so she can give you a bit of information. And once you're done, she'll go wandering off to throw up somewhere near the river, and you can sneak up behind her and get the key. And it doesn't matter if you get spotted by any of her bodyguards, just get the key and move on. Once you've got the key, you can use your raven to try and figure out where the hideout might be located, and then just head to the little area, and there's a house that you can walk through the window, and there's a locked door there, and you're going to use your key to take you down into his underground hideout. So what we're trying to achieve here is helping our cousin, who, remember from part 1, we discovered that Eivor has a very close relationship with his cousin, and his cousin's family helped him when he was younger, so he feels like he owes his cousin a blood debt, and that's why he's prepared to do all of this stuff for him to help him out. Depending on what level you are, you can either try and take this as a stealth exercise, or you can just go in heavy. I went in as stealthy as possible, which is what I usually do, and inevitably somewhere along the line someone will spot me, because I don't have a lot of patience for sitting around and waiting for the guards to move. But it doesn't matter. Take out all the guards and then you'll be in a position where you can tie up Thorstein and take him back to the King's Hall to await the justice. So I'm enjoying the fact that we're seeing different locations here and the different missions, and this is the first chapter of the story of the Wrath of the Druids, and I've encountered the Druids a couple of times already, and the Children of the Danu, I think it's called, and I think that's going to be almost like a small order that you're going to need to take down. I'm not sure. And this is where I attracted the attention of Thorstein, who sat on his throne staring right at me, and there was just a couple of guards left. Get rid of them, and then you have a bit of a problem. Then you've got to try and carry Thorstein all the way from here to the King's Hall, and there are guards outside, so you're either going to be placing him on the floor or do what I usually do, which is whistle for my horse and put him on the back of the horse and then just ride through everyone and then get to where you need to be. And that just makes it a little less messy. Otherwise you're going to be picking him up, putting him down, picking him up, putting him down, and you want to really be able to do this as swiftly as possible. And when you take him back to your cousin, King Barid, he doesn't show much. There's no love lost between these two, let's be honest. I'm not 100% sure why King Barid is so unpopular with some of the other lords and kings, and particularly the High King, but I think I'm going to find that out as I get deeper into the story. But he doesn't show much admiration for the king, let's say that, and you have the choice to make. You can either sentence him to a brutal death here or there or whatever. It doesn't really matter which of these choices you take, because the same outcome will happen. Barid is not interested in executing him, and he feels that he's not worth the effort. He's playing a longer game and showing a pretty deft move, actually. He wants to try and gain favour with King Flann, the High King, who has converted to Christianity, and therefore King Barid is also recognising both the Christian and the Viking faith, and he wants to show that he can show Christian mercy, and he hopes that this is going to help him gain favour with the High King. So Eivor starts to think about this. What is it exactly that this High King needs? How can I gain favour with this sort of pious and well respected man who recognises strength and power and influence, and these are the things he looks for in his rulers? So the whole purpose of trade in this Assassin's Creed Valhalla Wrath of the Druids DLC update starts to come together, and this is essentially the undercurrent, the backbone of this DLC, the trade business. Now this is very, very exciting to me. Someone who is a money grinder at the core, someone who plays GTA and uses the businesses to earn money, and Red Dead Online, that kind of thing, and I've got lots of videos on all of this on my channel, you can check them out. But this is, to me, very much going in that direction, an expansion pack where you yourself can operate a business. Essentially that's what it is. So Eivor and Barid come to a decision that they will try to find something exotic, some kind of gift that they can give to King Flann, and for that you need your friend Azar. You see, she is the trade expert. She has a stall, has contacts from other countries all over the world, and the international trade business is what you're going to get involved in, and this is you being gently pushed in that direction. So it's now been decided that you need to visit Azar and put together a trade agreement, looking for some kind of gift that is fit for a king. So I'm going to do my best to try and explain how the trade process works in this DLC update. I am going to make a separate video on the trading process and precisely how it works and the different aspects, but let's look at the basics here. When you visit Azar in her store, she explains that she has the contacts internationally to provide a certain kind of trade network. However, there are outposts, trade outposts around Ireland that have not yet been taken under her control, and she needs a partner to help her do this, a heavy hand. Some of these trade posts have been taken over by smugglers and fallen to ruin, that kind of thing. So she gives you the location of a specific trade post, and this is called Rathburn, and this is your first trade outpost, and you need to head there, and you're going to try to take this trade post over and essentially make it yours. And when you have done that, you'll be able to use it as a place of business, bringing in materials which you can find all around the world, either in chests, camps, things like that. Even if you go into a druid camp or a cave or something like that, the wealth that you're going to collect. And this is a different kind of material than you usually collect, which you would use for upgrading your settlement or your equipment and things like that. This is specific items which are considered exotic items, and you can find these in your menu under the exotic items in your inventory. Materials, delicacies, scripts, things like that, and collectibles. And these are things that can be traded. Azar is your contact, and you're going to visit her store every time you're in Dublin, and there's a chest here where you can take out the materials, the earnings that you've taken, and complete trades with her at her stall. And then you're going to go to your outposts and do the same thing there. Now the outposts, when you take them, they need to be upgraded, so there are different elements to the outpost: a storeroom, living quarters for the people that work there, that kind of thing. And you need to do 3 of these builds for each outpost. So this is how it works. So I think there are 5 or maybe even 7 different trade outposts that you can find around Ireland, and they're not all given to you at once. You can find the location of these by travelling around and looking for clues that unlock certain trade locations, and then you can complete the same process. And the more trade outposts you have that are all upgraded with all materials coming in and out of them, the higher the renown will be. And your aim here at this early stage is to increase the renown for Dublin, to help your cousin in gaining favour with the High King Flann. Dublin would have been seen as one of the key areas for trade back 1,000 years ago, and this is us helping to make that possible. So in this mission, the Rathdown build up, you need to secure the outpost, and there are a number of guards that have smugglers that have taken over the outpost. Just get rid of them, and when you do that, you'll be able to build the outpost and make it yours. A signpost, just like in your Ravensthorpe settlement, will appear, and you can use that to then interact and build using the materials that you have. So this is exciting, and I mean really exciting. Something other than a story arc that runs behind the story arcs and the missions that you do, meaning there's a motivation to get out there into the map and get all of these areas, get all the gear, and the rewards you're going to get for these trades are things that you can either convert into cash or special and unique armors. There are 7 different armors, 1 for each of the trade outposts that you can unlock. But this is exciting, very, very meaty, and now I'm starting to understand why I had to pay $19.99 for this add-on, because it's adding a different level to the game, very much like the DLC updates that come with GTA, for example. This is a way of increasing and your ability to immerse yourself into the game, and that is what I love. So here we are, we've basically unlocked, and now we own this Rathburn trade outpost. So we have a contact, and we need to go back to Azar in the market, and she will explain that now she's able to trade materials, furs for spices, and this is now how you can complete your gift for King Flann. So this is going to set us up for the next part of the mission, which is going to see us being able to give him a gift at the coronation. Now before we do that, we need materials to help build the other 3 areas. And now the very first thing you're asked to do is go and get your hand on some Irish cargo, some of these exotic materials, and you can do that simply by raiding local abbeys. And as luck would have it, I passed one on the sea as I was coming over. I saw a little island and thought, should I go and raid that now? And I thought, no, just wait and see if it's involved in the mission, and sometimes I do that. So now we're being sent back to that island, and I've got my crew here, and we're going to go and raid it. And then you're going to get your hands on very specific materials which you can use to upgrade your outpost. So let's just summarize here. Find the outpost, take it over, build the outpost storeroom and the 3 different areas of the outpost using materials which you get from local monasteries and also camps and things like that, and guard camps and bandit camps and things like that. Any chests essentially that you can find, and then you use that trade post to then make trades via Azar's shop. So you go and see her and click on the trade, and instead of buying things like in from a usual merchant, you're going to have specific trades. So this is a bit like the nightclub in GTA, if anybody plays that, where you have specific order requirements. So let's say 20 materials, 6 scripts, 20 collectibles, things like that. So you need to find specifically those, and you can usually pick these up in groups of like 10. The best way is going to be going into monasteries where there is a huge amount of this wealth, probably enough for you to build at least one of those 3 things, because in each of the 7 outposts there are 3 separate builds required. Each have different properties and reasons why you need them, but focus on just making sure you get all 3 of those. So here we are doing a raid, and once you've upgraded your, when you ranked up and you've got your crew all set up the way you want it, a raid should be a piece of cake. And just get all of this. Is quite a big monastery. There are 5 separate massive guild chests which will have plenty of wealth, and this is just as part of the mission. This is just setting us up, pointing us in this direction. After this, it's going to be down to us to find and discover new locations that we can raid. So having a look around the map and exploring all the areas on the map and synchronizing, doing all that good stuff that you need to do with Assassin's Creed is going to be the key. So how exciting is this? We've got lots of motivation going on. I've got the story arc which is unfolding in front of me. My cousin, I'm helping him. So essentially the undertone here is we're trying to get our hands on that gift for the king, and then we're going to go to his coronation in the next part of these missions and give him that gift and meet some of these new characters. But as well, in the sidelines, we're focusing on creating this trade network with Azar. I'm very excited by this, I have to say. I hope that this is going to grow into something that I think it is, and this to me is very exciting indication of what Ubisoft are planning to do with Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I really hoped that this was going to happen. That Assassin's Creed Valhalla is such a massive game. It's been such an exciting adventure for me to play, and the one thing I really wanted was to see these expansion packs bring an additional level of gameplay to it. So this is exciting for me, and if you are a money grinder, this is exactly what you want to see. When it comes to raiding monasteries and things, always make sure you're picking up all of the gear and everything else, clearing out the area completely. And we're taking our time with this one because there, as I say, it's quite a large one. There are 5 separate chests, and it was a little bit glitchy as I was doing it. I had I struggled to get one of my crew members to come in and actually open one of the chests, and I had to go back to my boat and then blow the horn again and start the raid again just to finish it. But once it's done, you can then return to Rathdown and complete the build on some of those other things, and we want to get that storeroom up because that's where you're going to pick up supplies and things like that. And what I also love about these trade posts is you can use them as a fast travel, which makes it super easy to get around the game. If you're a money grinder, you don't want to be sitting on a boat or sitting on a horse. I mean, it's great for a little while, and I don't mind using that, but essentially you want to be able to move around this very vast distance, back and forth between Dublin to see Azar in the store, and again to your business location where your trades are taking place. So here we go. We got our trade here. Now all we need to do is complete the trade. As I say, I'm going to make another video on the trade process just to cover everything in a little more detail, but this is what I'm talking about. You have a specific requirement of 5 materials just to get this gift together for King Flann, and you know that you've got 20 or something like that material, so you can give all of them to her. How about that? And then you've got the chest at the front of the store which you loot when you go to see her, and that is how you're going to take your materials from her. So you need to go back every time, and the more materials, the higher the upgrade, and the higher the number of these trade outposts that you've taken over within your control, the higher the quantity of things that you can take from her are. So this is really cool and very exciting. And then return to your cousin in the castle and explain that you've got a gift all lined up for King Flann, and all he has to do is organise it and get us to the coronation, and we can give him that gift. And I'm pretty sure he's going to see this is a very sort of grand gift, and he will understand that that's the idea, that he will think that his cousin, my cousin, King Barid, has an international reach that could get his hands on this exotic stuff, and he's going to see this and say, oh, he's quite a well-travelled, and that is the whole point of this little mission. So there we go. I hope this was useful for you. Look out for part 3 coming soon, and check out the channel for all the other content and all the other story arcs, and let me know what you think of this in the comments below, and I'll be back with another video very soon. Take care now.